All right. Welcome to the Foundational Infrastructure Working Group weekly meeting. Uh, let's hop into open PRs, which a bunch of stuff hanging out in pending merge that I don't know if it's supposed to be there or not, but let's take a look. This one probably is. It's been around for a while.
Yes, I think it's in a good state.
All right. Uh,
Or break CI.
I'm inclined to not squash. Those look like legitimate commits. Feels like a merge day. Who am I today? Look at all these options. So many emails I can get on the recording here.
Yeah, it's a good day for spammers.
Probably some screen scraping bot that will now.
Here's a PR to remove the remnants of Power DNS. Well, it's not really remnants. I guess it's been in there and working and nobody's updated or turned it on in, many years. It's already got one review, but feels like it could use another.
Nobody has used Power DNS in a long time, right?
Yeah. I worked with Aram on it briefly the other day. Uh, Part of what's getting removed here is I probably can't find it. Um, there's a command like Bosh instances dash dash something that returns DNS entries, which are blank. I don't know exactly what he did here, but basically it wasn't like, let's backfill that with Bosh DNS. Let's just get rid of that. So there might need to be some, uh, I'm assuming it doesn't not return the data, but just returns blank data. But there was talk of removing the column from the database. So I don't know if it just always returns an empty string there for now. Probably want to update the CLI at some point to not ever expect that data. Maybe remove, I think it was a special command to get that data. That seemed to be the only thing that was sort of cross-cutting. That function key is on.
Then we probably also need to do it for systemd resolved if it gets DNS from a file or something.
It was just, I don't even know what it, well, I've never turned on PowerDS and I don't know exactly what it was populating it with, but yeah, it doesn't use, it does, this just deletes that column, whatever that was. Because Bosh DNS entries aren't particular, well, they're not unique, right? Like a VM is resolvable by many of them, so it doesn't make sense to have a singular one. And they're not useful outside of typically wherever you're running Bosh from. Like wherever you run the Bosh CLI from probably isn't running Bosh DNS. So you probably can't resolve those addresses from there anyway. Back when Power DNS was the thing, I think you would use it as a legitimate resolver. So it made sense to expose DNS addresses maybe, but I'm going to move that back to pending review so I can wait. What? Oh, there's more commits for it. So just removing the diff for it.
It already has one review. This is a simple.
I'm inclined to just merge this now. Like I know in CF deployment, they'll often replace them with empty files, but that's when it's like that behavior has been merged into base, not when it's gone. So finding out somebody's like, hey, I really depend upon this would be better before the other review is merged.
Great.
I can click it. That one again, huh? Lentic and code cleanup for Bosch.
That's a lot of commits.
I did, and I did commit amend, and
That is too many queues. Seems like, yeah, just a lot of running the linter over the code base. Did not mean to close that, but I did. Do you want another review on this, or do we think one's enough for just cleanup? It's probably good enough.
I would say so.
Rebase. I love how all of our repos give totally 30 commits seems like probably a not. Well, wow, that is a lot of not just whip commits. Let's just merge it in so it's all in one fork of the tree.
Can probably change your default address.
I don't think it's possible. I wouldn't get to see the list every time. Here's a big one that definitely needs another review, which I'm going to just add first. This actually is generally fine. So this is, I worked with Long on this. Well, I looked over this. I did not do any of this code. This was all Long and it all seemed great, but it is for Noble support, allowing the Bosch agent to work with the systemd resolved. Everything I saw in here scared me a lot, but not for these changes, but for Bosch DNS itself. Because
I
what's
got
that?
Bosch DNS working.
Yeah, but did you see how systemd resolved works? Like what it does to resolve.conf?
No.
So nothing's in resolve.conf anymore. It is, well, that's not true. There's one thing in there. It's 127.0.0.43, which is a private IP that points to resolved, which is a pattern which you may recognize as exactly what Bosch DNS does. And so Bosch DNS, though, expects resolve.conf to contain all of the resolvers that it will then point to later. So
yeah, there are multiple functions too. That's just for the resolve.conf basically. So you can remove the whole caching mechanism because that's basically what it is. So it rounds back to 127.0.0, and that's basically like an extra between caching what systemd resolve does. We should also not rely anymore on what's in /etc resolve.conf, but actually do a resolve CTL status and check what the DNS entries are if we want to know which DNS entries we have or we added.
So some of the problems are that we don't add the DNS entries. Some DNS entries are added by the interface. So like on GCP, the default, the one interface normally has the DNS server on it already. So when this adds whatever it does, adds normal, those end up on the global list of DNS entries, not on the interface. And I believe Resolved will prefer the interface ones, which means if we put Bosch DNS in there as a global one, it's not going to try Bosch DNS first. We might need to figure out how to get it to configure right, but like.
But we do set it as the interface, because that's what we also do with Resolved. We also put it. We also specifically set the interface.
We set the DNS server for the interface itself.
I think so. As far as I know.
I know that's not what happens with. So this new behavior, which I cannot find. Wait, is this commit I thought it was? Should be a. I guess it's just in here. Should be some new files here, I thought. Wonder if Long added the new files. This doesn't look like what I was looking at yesterday.
Maybe he didn't commit everything.
I don't know.
Because here, that what is on line 1120, that write file strings to /etc resolve conf with the default Google DNSs,
Yeah.
That's a test.
which I also think we should not use default Google DNSs anymore.
Yeah. That's a test.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a test, but I mean the test for this will only test resolved, so the old way. It will not test the new one.
Yeah. But so however this puts it in, this puts a new config file into resolved etsy.conf something with the ones that come from settings.json, whatever those are, it puts those in there. Those end up in the global set of DNSs, not interface specific. Now, if we get Bosch DNS into the interface specific one, I might prefer that. There's also some possibility here to rework Bosch DNS, because what Resolved gives us is the ability to use DNS servers for specific domains. So like, hey, Bosch.internal, use Bosch DNS for that, but only that, which is what we wanted Bosch DNS to be originally, but that's not how DNS works. Like,
But I mean, like Bosch DNS has handlers as well, right? So it's trying to do a similar thing there.
right. So we would lose all that functionality if we go that route. It makes Bosch just smaller, cleaner, and then you're relying more on it. You also have to worry about Windows. Like, can we even do this? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of, we probably never get there, but it does give us tools to, in theory, make Bosch DNS a smaller, leaner thing without a lot of its functionality, and just rely upon systemd resolve to do that stuff. I don't know if that's good or not. Otherwise, we're going to have to basically configure resolve to be like, no, you don't do anything. Just always talk to Bosch DNS, which is probably possible. It does have a little bit of a problem in that Bosch DNS, well, maybe there's some way of getting that data, but like it definitely can't just read etsyresolve.conf to figure out like what are the resolvers I should use. It's going to have to inspect systemd resolved to figure out like which ones it should find.
Yeah, but there are multiple options, because there are 4 modes within systemd resolve. So you can also use the dynamic. Yeah, I've placed it somewhere. I need to double check it, but basically we can choose a dynamic way which still uses the old way of /etc resolve, where you will get all the name servers. It will not be DNS/IPs, but it will be the name servers, and resolvers will all be in that file, and it will use you go through a different code path within systemd resolve. It was really freaking confusing me because the documentation is all over the place. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out. So like, what is all possible here? Because it seems like they wanted to go one route, and then they had a lot of people complaining about, yeah, we also need this, and we need to support the old ways, and now we got this monstrosity.
It's also possible that we don't have to do much of anything, because systemd, the promise in the docs page was sort of like, systemd resolved will just do everything for you. It will, like, if a DNS server can't handle it, it'll try all the other ones, and then it'll find one that can't handle it, and it'll remember that for those types of addresses, like that DNS server handles it. So it's possible that like the internal ones end up only going to Bosch DNS and none of the external resolvers, and it all magically works without us doing anything, but also quite
Yeah, we
might
need
just fall apart.
something with some systemd resolve DNS expertise, because I think for all of us, it's like, okay, this is going to be one of those black hole projects. That it's like, where are we going to end up?
To come back to this PR, right? Like, do we need to make a decision in like
No.
about like
This is
what mode we're gonna run
No.
system D resolve today?
Nope. That's
No,
not necessarily this.
and this will unblock Noble because right now the agent basically crashes when trying to write the old way. So this will make it so that it can write the new way and should allow us to move forward at least and then figure out what we're doing. And I think, yeah, a lot of that decision making will come within once we go to do the Bosch DNS stuff.
Okay.
But heads up, that's going to be a lot of fun, I bet.
No.
Hey, Behan. VirtualBox CPI, a CI pipeline for maintaining. Hey, have we looked at this already? Looks like yeah. It's just
Aram has looked at it, but I thought the last comment was about wanting to redo something. Yeah, I'm gonna come back to this instead. Because I think this currently doesn't use the Go package common tasks for bumping the Go package. The Go,
right.
and he wanted to switch to that, but I don't know. I also saw an announcement on LinkedIn or something that he's working with another company now, so I don't know if he's still. I don't know. It's not in the meeting, so I don't know. We can leave it open for another week and then
Yeah.
maybe decide on if we want to merge it as is.
Yeah, the
Same with
virtual.
this.
I played with VirtualBox for the last 3 days, and I absolutely hate it. Don't want anything to do with it again.
Do you want a review? Oh, you are a reviewer.
I'm not a reviewer anymore. So I don't want. I will reject everything from now on.
Rejecting due
Have
to
to
VirtualBox.
reject. Contains word VirtualBox. Insta reject.
We'll leave that one for another week too.
Yeah, this we can just accept. I'm fine with this. If they want to do some checking, it's now only for FIPS anyways. I don't see that they're actually doing something with it yet in tests or whatever, so not sure what they're.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, why, like adding dependencies to the stem cell is generally not something we want, I would say. Or
Well, normally I want to remove shit, but it's like
yeah, and like if we would then run these
so these are not like
bands,
200 megabytes or something. So it's like they're not really big.
it's not about the size, it's usually about the number of CVEs they bring.
Yeah, but these are not these are CVE searchers basically.
Are they? They are
Yes,
benchmark tools, right?
these
They
are-
check. Go ahead.
These are all for I looked at a bit up to it, but this is basically for hardening stem cells. So they check if certain file structure systems are in the correct place.
Yeah, and that makes sense. But then I would like if we install these things, we should run these tests, right? Or these benchmarks.
Or rather, we should deploy the stem cell and then install the packages and run the tests and succeed or fail. Like they don't need to be on there. They should be on there for some sort of validation phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically a development dependency, right? Like for development of a stem cell, it would make sense to have these tools, run the benchmarks, then iterate on the results, but not include the benchmarks themselves.
Yeah, it would make more sense that you have these things like within but I don't know
container.
I don't know if this will be nice work nice with root. So if you want to scan stuff, but
I
Yeah.
mean, I could see them being part of the Docker container that we use to build.
yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. So, but I'm not sure how well this plays with Groot.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, on the other hand, it's canonical people asking. So if it doesn't work, I mean,
yeah.
could be fixed. Is there anybody from SAP that has context on this? Like, is this a requirement you all have come across?
I also don't
These-
know the person, so
Okay. Because this is targeting the VIP stem cell. So if SAP has no context, that leaves cloud.gov.
I can check internally, but okay, maybe it's from SAP. I must check.
Okay, yeah, it would be good to get some.
This seemed like a
Because, I mean-
reasonable question, though.
Yeah, sure.
And the others, if they really want it, they could also put it in an add-on and then the hardening
Watch release
stem cell
or
add-on.
whatever.
Yeah, it seems like doesn't seem like things that you would want on all stem cells.
They don't install it in all stem cells. That's only on
Well,
FIPS.
but I mean,
But
on the
still.
stem cell, I guess.
But,
Yeah, okay.
but
that's-
the Ryan Hill, the person that committed, is from Canonical, right? So
Yeah, but he's asking for it. I mean, I'm assuming if he wants to add it, that Canonical has a customer using the VIP stem cell that
Yeah, okay,
is
I can
interested in that, and I mean, there's not that many. So
It might just be a disconnect with what they think a stem cell is supposed to be and what sort of we think it's supposed to be.
maybe let's.
So like we would want to use this tool in one spot, so like let's put it on the base image. This is still waiting on reviews.
Yeah, I asked him. There was an update on this because we were going through the route where we add where we just have the LB type and read on that, and then I didn't see any update on commits or whatever. So as is currently, I cannot merge it.
Seems good. Add some
Yeah.
documentation to the stem cell builder about why we're using generic.
Basically, no to future us.
Sounds good. Just
I like it when past me does that. All right, that's already got reviewers added.
Yeah, I think, but I mean, like,
you can
I think we can just merge that. Right?
Merge it. All right.
Yeah.
No, it's required review.
Okay. Well, you're gonna get assigned then.
This repo needs 2 reviewers, where some of them only need 1.
Why don't I have the override merge commits button?
Have you execute the tests?
Nobody's supposed to see that button.
Doesn't exist.
Why is it this default this time? We already looked at Power DNS and the System D. All right, new stuff.
Riemann.
Ooh, big jump. So I'm assuming this all has been tested with all our Riemann integration servers.
They know what Remon is.
No,
not
wasn't that
it's a
some sort of I don't know.
logging server.
No, it wasn't. I thought it
No,
was
it's
something.
about our thing. It's
Yeah, some sort of weird language.
yeah, it's
But that's used at SAP, right? Or not?
yeah, yes, it's used. It's a functional language. I forgot. Clojure. It's Clojure.
All right.
So then it might make sense to validate this on the SAP side because it's quite a big jump. And I don't think like the integration tests actually test against. I don't know.
What does the boss director use it for?
It's a plugin, I
want.
believe.
Hmm.
A help
I
monitor
don't
plugin.
think. Yeah, but I don't think that we use this plugin. I think we use the Graphite plugin.
Well, I know we built something like a long time ago, and we needed to also put the Riemann stuff in there for SAP.
Can you comment on this, Max or Matthias? I don't think we use this plugin, but
I think we should maybe shortly ask the monitoring team.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
as
Yeah, yeah.
Jovan, someone. Jovan is
I take
probably.
over.
Does it any volunteers for the review?
You can add me and then I ask
Yeah,
the
exactly. You
monitoring
can
team.
add me as well, but
I think
let's see.
Mark.
Yeah, I don't have a user here, so use Matthias. And
Yeah.
All right. Seems like a pretty small change. So you say it's fine. It's fine. And then
pretty slow
worst
operating.
case, we can roll it back. Aram's been busy.
Yes. I think he has seen the foundational infrastructure working group leaderboards.
There's leaderboards.
Yes, I found out. So I'm gonna find them again and share the link. I'll put the link in the doc.
Seems like a safety checking thing. We'll just add reviewers on it. Nothing seems super controversial there. Unless somebody's using invalid citers. Documentation for the compiled release stuff. Or I'm guessing docs. Where is this? DocsBosh, yeah. Which did I hear this was broken again?
Yeah, it was broken again. So there is another PR, I think. I mean,
Foreshadowing?
broke.
Not yet.
It is Bosch agent, the fix thing, one down.
Oh, right. Okay.
But I mean, like, the interface is not gonna change, right? This can be reviewed.
Yeah. I'll take a look at this. I reviewed the other PR, which apparently was incorrect, so I'll take some ownership for the docs too.
H16D.
A lot of tests, a couple lines of code somewhere in here. That's mostly. Oh, it didn't have the dependent, right? Didn't have the dependent packages referenced, which, as we unfortunately learned, makes it not work very well. Actually gonna add myself on here too. Just because I was responsible for ripping that code out when we tried to do something 2 years ago to make I forget what we were trying to accomplish with compiled packages. Oh, we're trying to not include the dependent packages. So I have some context on the dependency of those when we were trying to rip out the Golang package from all the compiled releases. Does not work. Ah. The error from 18 months ago that we then hit again this week, which is a Bosch AWS Light Stem Cell Builder just swallows these errors, and so you don't know when the AMIs are not public. I thought about doing this when it happened back in 2022, but I didn't want to fail the pipelines because I wasn't sure what state that would leave in. But this actually happens before publishing, so they just all the ones that were made. Well, I guess some would get made public. I guess that's less than ideal. No, these aren't making public. These are just. Oh, sorry, they're getting made
These are
public, but they're
normally
not getting
tests.
published. Yeah. So they wouldn't be published. So all the ones that were made public but not published would get cleaned up after the 60-day window. So seems safe. We'll avoid hitting this problem in another 18 months. Ah, here's the -- DNS flag on the instance of the VM command being removed. Or at least removed from the docs. Is there a PR CLI? Yes. Ram's got it all. So we already talked a bit about this. This is just the docs cleanup. This review column is getting kind of big. And then finally removing the CLI flags themselves, which is similar. And then we never have to think about Bosch DNS again.
Power DNS, right? Or
Power
is
DNS.
he
We never have to
written?
think about Power DNS again. Bosch DNS is probably with us for a while. Leaderboards. So that was that. And then these two agenda items are, what's this? Bosch Prometheus repos.
Yes, there is discussion in the community channel triggered by by the maintainers of the Bosch Prometheus organization, and they would like to move repositories to the Cloud Foundry organization. And looking into the repositories, the foundational infrastructure working group seems like a fit. And we've been discussing what they want to move, and there is now clarity what they want to move. Yeah. It's about if we open the organization, that they want to move only the pinned repositories of that organization, which are basically for exporting Bosch metrics, exporting Cloud Foundry metrics, and Cloud Foundry application metrics.
So then,
So the idea is that they have their own sub area, and they have their own maintenance and CI, and their home is our working group, so to say.
was similar to like the CredHub UAA stuff or the database stuff.
Yes. But I mean, like, occasionally they will attend this meeting, maybe, and that's okay. I mean,
More the merrier.
I believe there's a lot of people in that group with a lot of Bosch knowledge, so it's okay.
All right.
I was looking into those. Most of them are Cloud Foundry application, which can extract metrics from Bosch or from Cloud Foundry and then forward them to Prometheus.
Which ones? The ones they do not want to move, or the ones they want to archive, or
No, the
What do you mean?
exporters. The exporters are Cloud Foundry applications. The one they want to move, Cloud Foundry application, and there is the Bosch Prometheus release. Sorry, at the moment it's quite loud on my side.
the Bosch exporter, for example? I believe that's a project. It's a Go project. That is also part of the Prometheus release, right? I believe it all comes together in the Prometheus release.
They all come together in the Prometheus because you can deploy them also separately to Cloud Foundry and provide both properties in the manifest of the
I see.
application.
Is there any action item? Do we need to do anything? Like, I mean, on the TLC, we need to approve this, I believe. But I mean,
If
from
people are okay, with that this is coming to our working group, yeah, we will suggest if we are also in TLC say, okay, I will suggest them to open a PR for the move.
I think that's okay.
So this is just waiting on the TOC then?
Yeah.
All right. And the other item from the agenda, Ed Ahmed as a approver. I'm against it.
You already approved it.
Dang it!
Oh wait, it's waiting on me.
Does kind of look that
Ye-
way.
Yes, that's why I had it.
Thanks. But I have to sleep about it. I have to think really hard. No, congratulations on the promotion.
We should have done this first. We could have gotten assigned to review stuff.
Yeah.
This is a mistake in the ordering.
We would have. I mean, the robots take a few hours to do their work.
That's true. That's true. Should I merge it now? I don't know. This is in the community repo. I don't know if I've ever merged anything there.
I don't know if you can. You?
There's a
Oh.
button here.
Oh, nice. Sure.
Is this something the TOC is supposed to do? Like, I don't know.
No. This is
No,
working.
it's
group.
working.
All right. Well,
And
As a lead,
and
you
you
are
are a
allowed
lead.
to. But
yeah. Well, that was your all first mistake. All right. Nice. Look at the leaderboard before you look at the issues.
It's just something I came across. They apparently finally got to it. There was an LFX dashboard before, but that didn't have working groups in it properly. Now it has the working groups in there.
Does it though?
It's still populating data.
All right. We'll come back to this at the end and see if anything shows up.
I think it loaded.
You'd be wrong. Oh, something went
Wow.
wrong.
Wow. You,
Cryogenic CI. Dang.
yes. That's the top contributor.
All right. We'll give it a refresh, see if we can fix. Oh, now it loads when it. Oh, interesting.
We're not so good with the best practice stuff.
No.
I don't know what it means. But look at that. SAP made a lot of changes, so that's why Aram has been so busy with all the commits and stuff, trying to catch up.
Oh,
But what is that logo? I don't.
I don't know, like, I mean, I don't also know what that VMware thing is. Like,
yeah, that's not a company.
that's not a thing.
Pivotal Software is up here though, and somehow increasing. This must be all my commits with my pivotal.io email. All right. Well, this is definitely correct and useful data. Issues. It's got issues. We didn't have a meeting last week, so we're going back to like the 7th. Down. Let's go down further. Pending merge or prioritized. I don't know what this is.
That's
What's
the
this?
C group stuff for Jimmy,
Oh.
the C group V2 for Kubernetes.
Wait, this is 2022. Just an update there. Yes. Does seem like getting off C groups V1 will be a great thing in our lives. Should we close this issue, I guess? It seems like the 5.15 kernel resolved the issue.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything from it anymore. So
Yeah.
Yes, that is how validation was fine, and I was talking to Chris of cloud validation. That's fine. What do we do with the finding here about the 6.5 kernel?
We've
keep
still
it in the
got
back. Go ahead.
we've still got open canonical support ticket where they're digging into what the actual problem is. I don't think we care too much, but they care a little bit, so we're helping them sort of trace it down. It seems like it's not in the 6.8 kernel, but I don't know. I mean, if Jamie's going to live on 5.15 and Noble's going to have C groups V2, like, doesn't seem like it impacts us anymore.
Are we sure that C groups V2 addresses the issue, or
We were unable to reproduce it on a 6.5 kernel with C groups V2 enabled.
Yeah.
So, you know, sure-ish.
you basically removed only that flag that we specifically set for that hierarchy flag, right?
What's that?
With-
Oh,
for
yeah,
the-
yeah, yeah.
The
Got it.
hierarchy flag, so that fix that we basically added, you remove that, and then you have C groups V2.
Yeah. And then it's got a totally different layout of the directories, and you got to figure out where to put the memory limit. But yeah, there's an analogous thing, and we saw it work fine there. All right. Agent fails to boot. This is probably getting resolved already. Yeah. Is this does it fixes 317? I just missed it. Yeah. All right. So we talked about that already. That's in progress. This is just a
wish
list item for removing yeah, keeping the branches separate rather than for some reason have a bunch of conditional code that never applies.
Yeah.
Seems totally unreasonable. Issue for getting rid of Monet, which talked about a little bit already. And it looks like there's been some discussion. Vote for getting rid of it. I'll leave this opening comment. I think our plan is to not move to specifically something different, but a more generic interface, and BPM might be that generic interface.
I think this command has a problem with BPM. It's also from SAP side, and they are not so happy if we use now BPM everywhere.
Yeah,
So
and
that's why they say maybe we should move to systemd.
Right, and I think, yeah, we don't have any proposals yet. You'd surprise me if it's just BPM, but BPM might be a good starting place for the structure of sort of the config, because it's sort of generic, like I want to run this stuff, and then BPM runs it. So there might be, you know, a generic structure that also has a BPM true or false flag where you can opt in or out of that. But ultimately, I mean, because BPM doesn't, even if we move to BPM, it still has to be BPM started by something and watched by something, because BPM doesn't monitor processes, it only starts them. So we still need to wrap that in systemd. So I feel like BPM is a flag somewhere, but and maybe a good interface for how to define the processes, but it's not just going to be, we'll use BPM and it will solve all the problems, because it doesn't solve any of the problems with getting rid of Monad, I don't think. But yeah, I'll put some of that into this issue.
Yeah, I believe that host namespace was also discussed, right? Like if BPM becomes the interface, we need an namespace, like an escape hatch in BPM to run it like in totally with outside of C groups, right? So you just use it to define the process to start, but not set up all the C group stuff.
Right.
This is what they want for HA proxy. So the codecs deploying HA proxy.
I think we saw this already. Oh yeah, and it looks like they're working on a PR to add update disk to the director, and then the Azure CPI, at least similar to the resize disk functionality, where if the CPI supports it, the director will use it to change the disk properties such as IOPS or megabytes per second stuff, so that you don't have to copy the whole disk, which if you have a real disk can take a while. Whoa. This is, stop opening these in new windows. Good thing you can open them here, can't I? So C groups V2 instead of V1. Talked about that a little bit, but yeah, there's a lot of things that need to be updated to work with both. I mean, in fairness, one of our things is the Monet. Well, I guess there's the Monet firewall uses C groups, and the NATS director firewall uses C groups. There is a world where we get rid of the NATS firewall at some point, but I guess that we're not there yet. We added that last year, the year before, just some IP table rules with C groups to allow you through it to prevent anybody on the VM from getting to the Bosch director NATS port except for the Bosch agent. Now that there's the option of ephemeral NATS creds, it's less, shouldn't really be necessary anymore. But that is, not everybody's using that feature, I guess. So looks like I made this 2 weeks ago, just about getting rid of the master versus 1.x branches. We haven't really used them in Jammy, so maybe start without them for Noble, then see if we need them. later?
Yeah, it's just that our the whole pipeline is just set up that way.
Yeah.
If we remove, then we can just remove the whole master thing from it, so that we don't use master anymore.
Yeah.
Basically, what we're going to do then.
vCloud stem cells, maybe stop cutting those.
No, don't get rid of master.
What's that?
No, we currently we have like the auto bumping is done within the master branch,
Right.
so that we need to, we need to change some pipeline stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody uses vCloud or stem cells, but probably not.
No,
Yeah. Noble's
I-
probably a good time to just stop publishing them, and then somebody will say, hey, where's the vCloud Air stem cell if somebody actually cares. More wish list stuff, maybe? Yes. So these are the universe repository things, which we learned recently Canonical does not patch CVEs on necessarily. They might not. I think Traceroute currently has a CVE in Jammy that is patched only if you have ESM access. So
for Xenial or
no, for Jammy. The patched version of Traceroute. Oh yeah, this CVE. We look at this CVE, Traceroute vulnerability. It's like not high or anything.
but there's no ESMs in Jammy yet, right, dude? Really? Okay.
Yeah, there is. Universe
Weird.
packages, they will backport stuff and call it ESM so that you can only consume those universe packages backports if you have ESM, which,
Those bastards.
right? We've never run into this before, which is why we now have an issue for, hey, let's get rid of as much of the universe stuff as we can from the stem cell.
If up down is going to be like horrible.
Yeah. No, some of the like Traceroute, that's easy to remove. That was just there as a, convenience
Yeah.
tool, but IF up down is used. So
And then the CLang, yeah, we also use that.
that's what we use for compiling Ruby right now. Yeah. Now some of these like the CLang stuff, like maybe we can leave those. Those are already on the dev tool dependency list, so those get removed from. They're only on compilation VMs, assuming you remove the dev tools. So there's some wiggle room there. Like maybe things like that are okay. Like you want the actual running VMs to be as clean as possible and not have things that have outstanding CVEs. But
Yeah.
Use systemd instead of run it, I assume.
Yes, I'm working on that currently, and it's not working well.
That's on brand for our systemd track of work.
Because it runs, I see it running, the whole process, and I see the logging. And the problem is once I disable run it and I reboot the VM, agent is not able to, the director is not able to contact the agent anymore. And I'm just like, super weird. So I don't know. It's maybe probably indeed a firewall thingy, but I can't seem to find it. So yeah.
And this person's having some trouble connecting to the Bosch director with a FIP stem cell.
Yeah, it's probably the old Bosch CLI.
Well, now they're on the new director and the latest Jammy, and fails when trying to make a compilation VM, which sounds like a networking issue.
Yeah, but that handshake error, it seems like the NATS thing when we changed NATS like 3 years ago, because I also had that in Slack like last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, seems like they fixed that. I'll take a look, point them at the how to debug unresponsive VMs help page. This is a problem we're sort of looking at. We haven't had time to actually dig into it yet, but apparently something got updated in stem build so that construct will fail if you are running stem build from a different subnet than the VM you're constructing is on. That's fun. Apparently it was a change in WinRM that Sean conveniently identified, but we haven't figured out exactly what's going on or what the workaround is. Windows stem cell problems. A lot of things in stem build. Windows 2019. That seems like a waiting for changes. Some hard-coded strings in there.
Yeah, we already had that.
Main instead of master.
Come on. No, not main instead of master. It's more
I mean-
change. I don't care.
Used by BPM is no longer maintained. That sounds not great. Golang mock. Yeah.
But Uber took it over, right?
Did they?
Yeah, they're heavily depending on GoMock, and they decided to take the maintenance now.
Mhm.
If you go to the repository, you find a link to the new location.
Ah,
There you see exactly.
all right, nice. I expect a PR from Aram within the hour. This already has a PR that we already looked at. So I guess it is pending merge, waiting for changes, or maybe pending review. I don't know, it's something. Document compile command. That is also prioritized, I guess. And finally,
Once that
So-
works, are we going to rewrite our how we compile how we do compiled releases, or
maybe it would probably be efficient to, it would save a lot of time if we, well, it would save 15, 20 minutes if in the Bosch director pipeline when it compiles stuff and the CF deployment pipelines where it compiles stuff, if it used a Docker image rather than using a Docker image to make a director and then compiling. Just skip a step there, basically.
nice? I ran into this like a week ago. It was really annoying.
This is a YAML problem.
Yes. So yeah, if you do it between quotations, it's all fine.
Yeah.
Also for parse, so you have like this. But yeah, it was really annoying because I was confused. I was confused at first as well. I was like, "Hey, what is happening here?"
It feels like I'm confused why this is an issue. Isn't this like there's nothing we can do about this, right? This is or is this Bosch CLI? Yeah, I'm confused.
It's a YAML thing.
Right.
And
Yeah. Yeah, I guess he doesn't know it's a YAML thing and not a CLI thing. Yeah. Fair enough. I'll update that and let him know. But we are past time. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about?
No.
All right. Thank you all for coming.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Okay.
See
See
you.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.